Keto was a game changer. Now, combining keto with OMAD, now that is a life changer. I wish I discovered the power of OMAD and keto way earlier on in my weight loss journey. For those of you who may have stumbled upon my channel, I started my weight loss journey off at 282 pounds, lost 60 pounds with keto, got down to 220, stayed stuck there for years, and then I discovered the power of Keto OMAD last year, and I ended up losing the majority of my weight on Keto OMAD. Now, I want to share with you why I think you should start your 1 meal a day journey with Keto OMAD. But before I do that, make sure you hit that like button, guys, and hit the subscribe button and come join the fam. I do a lot of live streams, and in order to participate in the chat in my live stream, you have to be subscribed to the channel. And I do a bunch of like how-to videos, what I eat in a day, different ways to lose weight, intermittent fasting, exercise, and the whole lot. And during my live streams, I actually answer your questions. So hit that subscribe button and come join the fam. Now let's jump into it. Why is Keto OMAD the perfect way to start your OMAD journey? Keto itself is catabolic. Catabolic means it's a metabolic process where our body breaks things down. Anabolic is a process where our body builds things up. So a catabolic process, for example, is burning fat. Breaking down fat into 1 glycerol to 3 fatty acid molecules. Okay, let's not get too scientific here, but basically proteins are composed of amino acids. A catabolic process would be breaking down proteins into amino acids and so forth. So the reason why keto is a catabolic process, it leads to the breaking down of fat. And through fatty acid oxidation, basically what happens is you get a lot of a molecule called acetyl-CoA. When that happens, that is when our body kind of creates ketones. And ketones are used as a source of fuel. So keto basically switches our body from burning carbs as fuel to burning fat as fuel, because the process of burning fat creates the process of creating ketones, and ketones can be used as fuel. So when our body makes that metabolic switch, it puts our body in a situation where hunger is absolutely crushed. It's not depending on outside sources for fuel. Now, to properly do Keto OMAD, you have to make sure that your macros are on point. A keto diet is a diet where your protein levels are moderate. Basically, you want to eat enough protein just for your body to get by. You don't want to overdo it on protein, because when you overdo it on protein, your body can go through a process known as gluconeogenesis, where it's creating protein into glucose. And when glucose is created in the bloodstream, that increases insulin levels. And when insulin levels are increased, basically your body uses insulin to put the glucose into your cells. And what happens when the glucose goes into your cells, basically it either gets converted into glycogen or it gets converted into fat, and we don't want that. We want to make that metabolic switch. You want to keep our body in a catabolic state. Fasting itself is obviously a catabolic state because your body has nothing to use. There's nothing to build on. So what is your body going to get its energy from? It's going to get its energy from itself. It's going to break down fat. It's going to go for the glycogen stores first, the glycogen stores in the muscles and in the liver, and it's just going to do that until energy stores run out, and that's where keto comes in. So basically, you want your diet with Keto OMAD to be high in fat. You want to aim for 80% fat. Now, don't stress about the macros being exact. I lost a lot of my weight with about 77 to 79% fat. Protein was 20% of my macros. So a good keto day for me is when my protein is between 60 to 80 grams. For men, it's a bit different. Basically, good rule of thumb for men is you want to eat less than 100 grams of protein on the day. You don't need copious amounts of protein if you're obese. You have tons of protein, tons of fats, tons of all of the molecules on you. So please don't stress about protein. If you're worried about muscle loss, that won't happen unless you are not training. Muscles are built at the gym, muscles built through resistance training. And the amount of protein you're eating on a keto diet is enough protein for your body to utilize and repair the muscles you already have. Now, you can't really build muscle on keto. I know some people may argue that unless you are eating a lot, I guess, but we are using keto as a method to lose weight. OMAD as a method to lose weight. It's not something you want to focus on building muscle about. Too many people are out here losing weight and they're focusing on muscles. Why are you doing that? Building muscle on your weight loss journey is going to make your weight loss journey very challenging when you get to a body fat percentage that I'm at, because then your muscles demand more and it's really hard to stay in a calorie deficit. Now, for everyone who is obese and they're starting their journey off with Keto OMAD, you don't have to worry about all of that. Your body will use the fat as fuel. Keto OMAD crushes hunger. It makes it easier to stick to OMAD. Now, when you start any diet, guys, you're gonna have to go through a transition period. Whether you're doing the basic calorie counting diet, you're reducing your calories from a calorie excess to a calorie deficit, you're gonna be hungry in the beginning. There's gonna be a transition period. Please expect that. But the beautiful thing about Keto OMAD or keto diets in general is that that transition period disappears. Whereas with the calorie counting way, where you're just, you're eating whatever, hunger can appear. So what I love about Keto OMAD is that it crushes hunger. You're gonna be eating foods that take longer to digest. Foods like beef, lamb, pork, these are the type of meats you want to focus on when you're losing weight with Keto OMAD, especially with Keto OMAD. Because if you eat things like chicken is not really satiating. Chicken is better for someone who's doing a diet that I'm doing right now, doing a more small snack kind of diet, eating between 300 to 400 calories throughout the day or within 18 hours. That's what I'm doing right now. That's better for that. But when you're doing OMAD, you want to go for the high fat satiating foods because it keeps you full longer and it allows you to adhere to the Keto OMAD method of weight loss. It's literally what I did. Foods I ate a lot when I was losing weight with Keto OMAD was beef. Beef was my best friend, especially beef liver. I ate a lot of beef liver. Pork was another meat that was my best friend. I loved pork. Pork has great ratios when it comes to staying in ketosis and keeping that blood sugar low, because when you keep that blood sugar low, you keep that insulin low. And you want to keep that all low because it puts your body into a state of fat burning and your hunger hormones are basically gone. The danger with Keto OMAD is actually under eating. And when I say this, it's because this is what happens to a lot of people when they do OMAD or keto in general. When they do proper ketogenic ratios, which is 80% fat, 20% protein, and sparing carbs. Like carbs are literally non-existent. So when you do a diet like that, what happens is your hunger gets crushed and then you put yourself in a situation where you're dropping a lot of weight and you're like, life is good. And then all of a sudden you'll just get the urge to just eat a bunch of food because you realize you are under eating. So it's really important to make sure that you are eating enough on Keto OMAD. And to do that, you have to see where you are in your weight loss journey. If you have a lot of fat to lose, you don't have to worry about that. But when you start chipping down, you're getting closer to an ideal body weight, you got to be careful because that's when things will spike. And when you notice that, that's where you have to increase your calories, which is so important. Why I highly recommend everyone who is in the process of losing weight right now, weigh yourself daily and have your calories right beside it. I call this a weight log. So you basically have your weight in one column, have your calories in the next column, and you weigh yourself daily and you have a pattern. So you can know what calories you can eat to lose weight, what calories you can eat to maintain weight, and so forth. It gives you a lot of info and it gives you power on your weight loss journey. Okay, I want to suggest some foods while eating Keto OMAD, some example of meals. Now, let me actually explain the entire process of Keto OMAD. Number one, You want to make sure you're getting in your electrolytes, because when you're doing keto OMAD, you are going to drop weight very quickly. And when you drop weight, you drop water. And when you drop water, you drop electrolytes. And when you drop electrolytes, that's not a good thing, because your body needs electrolytes to perform basic cellular processes. You need electrolytes, sodium and potassium. So every morning when I did keto, I basically had a hot cup of sodium, 1 teaspoon of sodium, 1 teaspoon of potassium, and some baking soda. So to figure this out, basically I used Himalayan pink salt, but I've now switched to no salt. I love no salt. The taste is actually better. Some people are using this Celtic sea salt. Everyone says that's better. That is the source of sodium. The source of potassium is any salt that says potassium at the back of it. I'm currently using salt-free, which is Windsor by a company here in Canada. If you're in the US, just go to your salt aisle, look at the back of your salt and see if it says potassium. So you put a teaspoon of that in a nice hot cup of water or cold water, have that throughout the day. You want to make sure you have the electrolytes so you're able to A, crush your hunger, B, be able to stick to the diet, because you'll get yourself in a situation where you feel like absolute garbage. You should not be feeling like garbage while you're doing keto OMAD. If you do, you gotta either A, hang in there because you are beginning the transition, but B, you're not getting in enough electrolytes. Number 2, you want to make sure you get enough water. Obviously, you're going to have your salt water, your electrolyte water, but you want to ensure that you are having tons of fresh water as well. So I would have the hot cup of water, and then I would have a bunch of fresh water throughout the day. I'm drinking water like crazy. Now, tips to help you crush your hunger and keep your sodium levels high is throw in some pickle juice. Just drink a bunch of pickle juice. Another thing you can do is have some apple cider vinegar. That is a great way to crush hunger. Cinnamon tea, some coffee. Coffee is also a great way to crush hunger as well. I lived by coffee in the beginning of my keto OMAD journey. It helped me out a lot, and then I eliminated it, and now I'm drinking coffee again. So you want to ensure that you do that. Now, the best method I found success with keto OMAD was doing the 20-hour fast. So I would fast for 20 hours and then I would break my fast with a small snack. Now hang on, before you break your fast, you want to ensure that you weigh yourself. You want to weigh yourself right before you break your fast so that you can have a consistent weigh-in on the daily. And the key to making keto OMAD work is to have a routine. Break your fast at the same time every day. So when I was doing the 24 or more method, which is what I like to call it, fasting for 20 hours or more, I would break my fast at 4:00 p.m. I would have a 400 calorie keto snack. So that would look like some eggs, some bacon, and some sausages, or some eggs, some sausages, and some dark chocolate. That is a big hint. You want to have dark chocolate on this journey because dark chocolate is so essential to A, it gets that sweet tooth craving, and B, it has loads of electrolytes in the form of magnesium. So it's got a lot of good stuff in there for you while you're doing a keto OMAD diet. So I would break my fast with a 400 calorie meal, and then I would have the rest of my calories. I would eat anywhere between, when I first started, I was eating pretty low because I had a lot of fat on me. I was eating anywhere from 600 to 800 calories. And then as time went on, that went up to 1200 calories. If you want a starting calorie number, for women, start with 1200 calories. For men, start with 1800 calories. You can do it that way. You can also eat a bunch of snacks throughout your 4-hour eating window, like a 400 calorie snack there. Or you can do the 23-1 intermittent fasting method and eat all your calories within an hour eating window. It's up to you to find what method that you can adhere to, what method that you can stick to. But I highly recommend the 24 or more method. I like that method because it allows you to have a consistent flow of food within a 4-hour eating window. And yes, you got to count your calories on this. You can't expect to lose weight if you're not counting your calories, and you can't expect to lose weight if you don't know the scale trend, which means weighing yourself daily. And then after my meal, my 4-hour eating window, I would have a hot cup of bone broth, or I would have this lavender moon milk tea, or I would just have tea in general, and I would go out for a 5-minute walk because you want to move around and get the food moving. So if you're starting your weight loss journey off with keto OMAD, please know that there is a transition period. It took me about 3 weeks to get really comfortable with keto OMAD, to get into a rhythm where I was not getting hungry at all. There were days where literally I didn't have to eat much. I wasn't hungry. There are days I I would just fast because my body was so efficient with using the fat on my body. That's what you want. You want your body to be in a catabolic state. You want your body burning and breaking down and oxidizing fat, and it'll be comfortable. It's much easier to do Keto OMAD when you have tons of fat on you. Hang in there, get through that hump. It will be the easiest method to lose weight. You got to adjust as time goes on. I do talk about that on my channel as I'm going through that period of adjusting life after keto OMAD, but it's so important to hang in there. There is a process. I would say it takes about 3 weeks, maybe a month to get completely OMAD fast adapted, to get used to the fasting schedule. And the best way to get used to the fasting schedule is through repetition. Repetition is how you find success. Do the same thing every day. It has to be boring. The most success you find on your weight loss journey, it is boring. Literally, eat at the same time every day. It would be like break my snack at 4. And then I would wait a couple hours and eat the rest of the meal at 6. And I would either be done by 7 or 8, depending on the day. It was very, very similar. If I was doing the 23-1 intermittent fasting method, so true OMAD, which is fasting for 22, 23 hours a day, and I'm having my meal within an hour, half an hour eating window, I would have my meal at 6 o'clock every day on the daily. And then I would end. You just want it to become routine. That's how weight loss should be. It should not be stressful at all. It's just a routine. So this is the routine I did. Wake up in the morning, have my hot cup of water, then I would go to the gym, then I would have my coffee, then I would drink tons of water, get through the day, get through appointments, taking care of my son or what have you. Then I would come home, break my fast at around 4 o'clock if I'm fasting for 20 hours. If I was fasting for 22, 23 hours, I would break my fast at 6 o'clock p.m., prepare my meal, have it laid out, weigh myself, then eat my meal, and then I would end the night off. You want it to be as simple as that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you more details on why I prefer Keto OMAD. I truly do. I know it sounds insane, but Keto OMAD is actually much easier than Carb OMAD. Because what happens with Carb OMAD, it might like increase your cravings sometimes, or the scale might not be as friendly, only because your body will hold on to water a little bit longer and then it will dump it. Don't worry about it. Both methods of OMAD work. I like Keto OMAD because it's a joke. It just makes it completely simple. Your hunger is non-existent with it once you get past that 3 to 4 week hump and get fully adjusted. Anyway, if you made it this far into the video, just drop in a bunch of meat emojis. And yes, there's a dog here. She's obsessed with me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.